Welcome to the Sparky Coach podcast. This episode is brought to you by Dave. Dave is our in-house app designed for one reason and one reason only: to help you build your generational empire. We hope this podcast cuts through the noise and helps to show you what's really important, which is being excellent, making money, building wealth, and being kind. Enjoy the podcast. Business lessons from Monopoly. This is part 2. We're going to get straight into it. Got a few lessons to get through. I was playing Monopoly with my kids the other day. Monopoly, if it's not the greatest game of all, it's certainly got to be pretty close, right? One of my childhood core memories is playing Monopoly with family and friends, and I'm just so stoked when the kids are frothing to play Monopoly. We've introduced it. Yes, it takes some time. Yes, it takes some effort. Yes, it takes some energy. But there's nothing quite like rolling that dice and going around the board. But okay, gonna get straight into it. Okay, here we go. Lesson 1. It's the same cards on repeat. So Monopoly has community chest and it has chance. As you all know, I'm preaching to the choir here, right? And it's just the same cards. From sale of stock, you get $45. You are assessed for street repairs. You have won second prize in a beauty contest. Collect $10. It's the same cards on repeat. And if you get the rhythm of the cards, you can be like, okay, cool, I know what's going to come up. Hey, that hasn't come up yet. It's almost like it's almost like you're gambling on blackjack, playing cards like that 21 movie. But it's interesting because business is just the same thing on repeat. And I want to encourage everyone you sort of see business as a game. It's a game of green. We want a market wage and we want a business net profit between 20 and 35%. That's what we want. So it's a game of green. It's if I'm hitting those, I'm green. If I'm not hitting those, I'm orange. If I'm definitely not hitting those or I'm falling backwards, that is a red flag. And if in Monopoly, you would be out of the game if you are trading insolvent. And unfortunately, with the seed time and harvest delay in a negative sense of running a business, when income tax, when BAS, when your personal tax, when company tax, when the wholesaler bills, when your credit card bills, when it's all stacked up in a delayed, in a negative sense, you can rack up some serious debts very, very quickly and not be aware of it. So if you know it's the same cards on repeat, you sort of play a little bit differently. This is why we close every single month on Sparky Coach. We sit with you, we pull apart your zero, we ask the hard-hitting questions, we handhold you through this because I believe it's a position where you want to sit in a chair with someone that knows what they're doing to pull apart the core movers in your business. And if you look left to right on a closing month, you've got your revenue. Then you've got your cost of goods sold, so your billable labor, your direct costs and your materials, your subcontractors, anything billable going through there, that leaves you with gross profit. So all revenue does is buy you billable labor, materials and direct costs and subcontractors. That leaves you with gross profit. So is your issue in revenue or is it in your direct costs? That's going to be a gross profit issue. Then after gross profit, we come to other revenue, which is like apprentice grants and all those COVID grants and just stuff that comes in. You might sell a car and it populates in there. That's all cool. I've got to be aware of that because that can prop up a month really in a negative way. And then we look at your cost of operations, which is your non-billable labor, so your admin staff, your estimators, your operations managers, you in the office, and your operating expenses. So it's all your non-billable, and your advertising is in there too. So you can be running at a healthy GP, and you can be absolutely running an unsustainable and unsatiable monster that leaves you with nothing left in the tank. Now, your business either has to be two things. It has to be profitable or it has to be on a pathway to be profitable. So gross profit's a great indicator when you're double handling sort of operational roles or you're advertising for a short season of time. You're double handling some subscription costs or you're investing into yourself, but that's only going to be a seasonal thing. So, it's low, the net's low now, but it won't be in the future. But how long can you stand on one leg for? You can't buy a house with gross profit. You can't buy a house with revenue. I mean, look, let's face it, you can't even buy a house with net profit. You can buy a commercial property with net profit. It's something through the business, but you get what I'm saying here. Net profit's what's left in the net. At the end of the day, it's the only thing that matters. Like Metallica say, nothing else matters. The net profit's the only metric we should be going off, or it's either right or it's on a pathway to being right. That's the two things to consider. Okay, how long can you stand on one leg for? So how long can your gross be correct and your net be out for? What is the time frame on it? Oh, I'll do that for 6 months, for 12 months, for 3 months. But we need to see a game of green. So we just want net profit after we take our market wage out. We want our net profit to be 20 to 35%. If it's not, we're losing the game. And I know you guys, you're winners. And you've signed up to running a business probably because you're an absolute godsend weapon on the tools. No one quite roughs in like me. And let me tell you, no one cares. Just because you're an absolute weapon, you can be fully allocated. Your hours can all make sense. You can be fully utilized. Your quality of hours can be 10 out of 10, and you can be losing money. What we call labor efficiency. You can be fully allocated, fully utilized. You can be absolutely killing it. Your team can be absolutely killing it. You can be doing all the things right, but still losing money. And that's not a fun game to play. There are really no winners there. No one wins. And a great thing to see your business is just a game. So if you looked at left to right your close a month, is your issue in revenue? Is not enough revenue coming in? Or is too much revenue coming in and you can't quite keep up with it, so you're dropping the ball everywhere and you're putting Band-Aids across things that need to be stitches? You know what I'm saying there? Anyone that's bounced from project to project, from space to place to place, sinking your flat whites, large flat whites, pouring them on your head, driving through traffic, phone call, schedule, quote, late, after hours this, after hours that, will tell you it's not a fun position to be in. I've been there. I've been in that exact position. It's not fantastic, and I was fortunate enough to see the light and be like, there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way. There's got to be something better than this. Like, it's working, and my business was fortunately working at that point, and it was very profitable. It was just a factor of like, I'm just doing too many hours. So is your situation it's your core, I guess your core problem, the next problem you need to solve? Is it in the revenue? Is it in your COGS, your direct costs, or is it in your cost operations, or is it in controlling your time? We just introduced, and I never thought this would be a good idea. I was always apprehensive. We just introduced into Dave. Dave is our amazing app we built to help business owners build their generational empire. That if we had one core philosophy, one core ethos, if I died on a hill for anything, it'd be, I want to help you guys build your generational empire. I want our clients in 15 years' time to look back and be like, hey, I'm so glad we joined. I became an asset. I used the vehicle. I made the business an asset. That allowed me to get other assets via commercial property, personal property. That allowed me the time to spend with my family, to spend on myself, to spend with the people I love, doing the things that I love. I'm so thankful. I want people in 15 years to look back and be like, thank God. Thank God I joined Sparky Coach. That's my goal. I want to help you build your generational empire. And that's so cool. And we will see that. But it takes some work from your end. But I want you guys in 15 years to look back and be like, yes, I did it. So where is your issue? Is your issue in revenue? Is your issue in COGS? Is your issue in cost operations? And how are you going to fix it? They're usually quite simple fixes, I would say, because it's like, and I say this a lot, but specifically talking to electricians here, aka gods among mere mortals, Sparkies, right? Sparkies, so good. But if you turned up to a house and it had no power or no lights, you would go through a really linear pathway. Okay, I'll check the switchboard. Okay, I'll double check if it's been raining. Okay, now we're going to unplug some things. Now we're going to take the next steps. And you've got a pathway, probably 10 things to step forward. It's actually not overwhelming. It's quite simple because you are fault finding. We are finding the fault, and then we are what? We see the fault and we're like, yeah, she'll be right. All good. Don't worry about it. No, we find the fault and we fix it. And in your business is the same. We find the fault and we fix it. And that's going to bring up something else. We find that, we fix it. And as we grow our revenue, our net profit should be increasing because we want a 20 to 35% net profit, which is of your revenue, right? So if your revenue goes up and the margin holds, your profit goes up because 20% of a higher number is in fact a high number. But if you can kind of see that you're getting dealt the same things every single week, you're getting dealt quotes, you're getting dealt invoices that need to be prepared and then sent and then checked, you're getting dealt schedule, you're getting dealt staff, you're getting dealt people that want you to do some work for them. It's so crazy that, I guess the definition of insanity is doing the same thing twice and expecting a different result. The definition of insanity is sometimes steering away from what works. And so often what works, I want you to stop traffic right now and be like, when was my business working? Or it is working, and it's working now because of all the quotes and the David Hasselhoff that I was doing. Or I was, getting quotes back on time, and I was going to site, and I was breaking some bread with people, and I joined that BNI, which is not a cult. Swear to God, it's not a cult. It actually might be a cult. Like, let's face it. But plenty of things could be considered a cult, right? If you end up in a poncho and in some obscure part of Australia, just call me. We'll come get you. We'll helicopter you out of there, and then get revenue in other places. But it's like, it's really interesting to just be like, well, what was working? How do you stick to it? And then how do you basically repeat the same things that work? Because you've got to do that in business. You've got to stick to the things that work. And so often we do things that work for a season. We finish work on time. We control our work hours. We quote for the right people. We get our quotes back on time. We get our quotes out on site or on time. We employ weapon staff members. We have excellent clients, and we've got these cool systems in place. And then they're all working, and then we get busy, or then we get tired of doing good, and then we start to defer from what works and put an average staff member on. We put too many average staff members on, and now we need some work, so I've got to hustle for some work. And it's like, now I'm just getting revenue for the sake of revenue to employ people I don't like to produce a product I'm not happy with. And the cycle changes, and it's like, how did I end up here? I'll tell you how you ended up there. You made little decision after little decision after little decision, and you fell off track. I think, don't quote me on this one, but someone told me this once, and I have never looked it up, but the concept is pure. If you fly from Sydney to New Zealand and you're out by a couple of degrees, you miss the whole country. So it's like, you don't have to be out by very much to miss what you're going for. 2 degrees off, 5 degrees off, 10 degrees off over a long period of time. Couple of bad decisions here, couple of average decisions here, couple of good decisions here. So the average ones stack up negatively, but what do the good ones do? The good ones stack up in your favor. May the odds be ever in your favor. May you make consistently good decisions about what work you bring in, about who you employ, about what materials you move, about how you price things, about how you understand your foundational pricing, about the operating expenses. This is actually an interesting story. So 40, God bless that guy, love that guy, based out of Ballina, straight out of Ballina, the mobility scooter capital of Australia. You don't have to drive through Ballina for too long to see mobility scooters absolutely everywhere. So I did a podcast with him last week that jumped out, 7 business lessons in 7 years. It's actually out on YouTube and Spotify now. And he sent it to me via Dropbox. And this is actually an interesting scenario. So he sent it to me via Dropbox, and I've got the free version of Dropbox because we use Google Drive. And I looked at it and I'm like, far out, I could pay the $200 subscription, or I could just wait a day and he could drop it to me via Google Drive. Now, the old me, the electrical business me, that needed everything in a rush, that needed everything today or tomorrow or right now, right? That wasn't looking for Mr. Right. It was looking for Mr. Right now or Mrs. Right now. I was like, far out, I'm just going to buy it because I want to post a podcast because it's got to get up. And so I messaged Ford and I was like, hey, just drop it to me on Dropbox. I'll put it up Monday. Sweet, done. You know why? I saved myself a subscription, and because I knew that would just roll on and on and on like lamb chops playing along. It never ends. There's no end to obtaining subscriptions. There's no end to paying for things last minute. There's no end to spending money in a unwise fashion. So we need to pull ourselves back together. Now, could Sparky Coach afford the $200? Of course it could. It's not the point. It was not on our trajectory. We don't need it for anything else. So it's just interesting. So be careful of what you sign up to, and be careful of all your last minute stuff. Be careful of buying things you don't need or using people that you don't need for revenue or for COGS. All right. It's the same cards on repeats. Revenue, cost of goods sold, your direct costs, it leaves you gross profit. So revenue buys you direct labor materials, leaves you with gross. Anything that's left in your gross buys you cost, operations, operating expenses, and there should be something left over. And if there's not something left over, right, there's no point. It either has to be good or on a pathway to being good. That's it. That's actually it. All right. So it's the same cards on repeat. The next point is do the right thing. I want to read you this text message. I was walking through my favorite cafe in my local town the other day, and I hear this, Crowe, and I was like, what the hell? Saw our best client. So I had an electrical business in Sydney for 13 years and saw, maybe not our best client, but our top three, like a top three client. And I still remember I got back from Europe in 2009, and I had nothing to my name, just probably a credit card debt and some extra kilos on the hips from that fantastic gelato and pizza. Am I right? Anyone guilty? Guilty is charged with the pizza and gelato, right? So it was. I remember coming back and we needed money, and I'm like, going to work. So I was subcontracting for this guy, and I was just putting in huge hours because I'm like, well, there's work here. It was this great bakery, this factory based out of Alexandria in Sydney. And I was just going there, just working. And I like chatting. If you know me, I love a chat. I love chatting. And I was chatting to this guy who was there I was there on a Sunday, right? So I was just like, I was super keen. And I was there on a Sunday, and I was doing all this kind of stuff, and I was chatting to him. And lo and behold, I didn't know this for a couple of months, but he turned out to be the owner. I had no idea. We're just chatting. We got along really well. And anyway, so he was like, here on a Sunday, love the rip in. I'm like, oh, thanks. You know, you're here too. Good job. High five and bit of breaking bread. I think we might have had a coffee together, whatever. So it was actually really interesting. He didn't share that he was the owner at that point. And then, long story short, after 2 or 3 months, they had a falling out with their old Sparky. And it's a tale as old as time, right? You send and I was watching this other Sparky use this job, handle this cost plus job terribly. He had the wrong people there. He had too many people there. He had an operations manager who just wanted to pick up materials all day. They were making huge mistakes. The one guy took 7 days to fit off this board that would have taken you about a day and a half to do. It was all the stacks up. They were poor communicators. It's just a whole bunch of things. And I always think you got to watch yourself. You can lose a client really quickly, but you can gain a client really quickly. So he called me and he's like, hey, I was chatting to you here. Can you come and take over? And this is once that part of the build was finished. And I was like, yeah, sure. Come in. And I had a meeting with him. Turns out he was the owner. So we had a really close relationship for over a decade, 13 years. And he's such a legend. He's been such a huge part of my career. And I bumped into him. I haven't seen him for maybe 7 years. I bumped into him at a cafe the other day. And it was cool. I just said to him, this is actually really interesting, right? I wanted to read this because I sent him a text after. It was so great to bump in. He's got 4 kids. I got 2 kids. The kids were chatting. And I just said, man, it's so great to see you and the family. I just wanted to say thanks so much for taking a chance on me all those years ago. I really appreciate everything you've done for me. If you're ever coming back and have time to hang out, let me know. And he wrote back, I took a lot out of this, right? He said, great seeing you in the family, GC. He talks in letters, right? He goes, appreciated all your great support and service, mate, and your positive can-do attitude. Yes, we'll be back up. Let's catch up. You've got a great family. Well done. And it was interesting for me to reflect on. And I'm like, what do people actually appreciate and what they want? The good clients, the best clients want to work with you forever. And only you can sort of ruin it. They want great service. They want responsiveness. They want care. They want thoroughness. Yes, they want the job to be done to code, of course. That's a given. Your best clients don't worry about seeing your licenses. They assume you're licensed, right? That's just the facts of the whole thing. Unless you're in this big build sort of situation, you got to send your swims over. I'm not saying that, but you hear what I'm saying here. Your best clients are absolute legends. Ones that you want to be sitting at a cafe in 10 years' time, bumping into someone and being like, hey, we used to work together. How good was that? That's what you want. You want these long-term clients that still speak well of you way, way, way down the track. Did we have some discussions along the way with this guy? Of course, from both sides. Hey, I was like, hey, you need to tighten this up. And he was like, hey, you need to tighten that up. But we're growing together. And it's so beautiful to see businesses grow together. And if you've got a client, they might grow in the next 10 to 15 years. So look after them, water the seeds well, always do the right thing, always look after your clients. No one's saying you can't make money. You should be making a market wage in 20 to 35%, but do the right thing. Playing Monopoly, how does that relate to Monopoly? I was playing with a 7-year-old and 8-year-old, my boys. I could have stitched them up so hard. I could have been like, I could have been paying $50 for things that were $300. I could have been making deals with them that weren't correct. I could have done whatever I wanted because they trust me. Your clients trust you. Always do the right thing. It'll land you in the right spot. Do the right thing on repeat forever and always. All right, next one. I love this one. Treat the parts carefully. You're going to use them again. Treat the parts carefully, you're going to use them again. So I'm a pretty much, I'm a big pack up Monopoly guy. Like I'll pack everything up really well. I'll even put the properties back in the same order as they were. And I think you could call that on the spectrum, and it certainly might be. But I care about the game, and I'm like, I'm gonna use this again. I want my next experience to be pleasant. Now, what's that got to do with your electrical business? Pack your day up well. So by the time this afternoon comes, or whenever you're listening to this, it might be night time, I don't know. But by the time the end of the day comes, you should know what you're doing for the next day. It should be organized. Your current day should be packed up with a bow around it. I've got back to everyone that needs to be gotten back to. I've done everything that I thought I was going to get done. I have dominated this. There's nothing quite like doing what you say you're going to do. Right, so if you've said you're going to get a quote out, get a quote out. If you're consistently behind on your schedule, that's a huge issue. Your schedule is just your time budget. It's basically you telling your time where to go. If you're not operating to a pretty strict schedule, you'll blow your time everywhere because someone calls you, oh yeah, I can talk to them. Another person calls, oh yeah, I can talk to them. Oh, I didn't get my invoices done, yeah, but I had 3 hours of conversations I'm not sure if I needed to have. So many people have the time, you're just not using it properly. But pack up your day well. Make sure that the current day has a bow around it, it's all sorted. And if it's not sorted, we're on to it the next morning. There's nothing quite like in your schedule, uninterrupted time on the business. So if you've got time, if you've got your invoicing to sort out or quoting to sort out, or you've got a conversation that needs to happen, or you've got some data entry somewhere, you've got a deep work task, that needs to be in your schedule, super clean, super easily, no distractions. I don't have my emails up on my second screen. I don't have my phone on, which is ironic because you would have just heard my phone ding a second ago, but you get the gist. You get the gist. But I'm not looking at it because I got things to do. So treat the parts carefully. You're going to use them again. Pack your day up. I was saying that. Pack the game up well. So you've got to pack your day up. You've got to pack your month up. You've got to just pack everything up, package it up really well, put a bow around it. Every week we call it Close a Week. You should be basically looking at your week going like, I've done everything that I said I was going to do. My next week looks good. Revenue exceeded expenditure this week. My closed jobs net profit looks good. My ongoing jobs are on a pathway to make money, and my variations are all sent. I've sent every single quote. I've had the conversations with my staff members. My labor efficiency makes sense. I've fully allocated, fully utilized, good quality, and I'm improving next week via XYZ. Super, 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 super simple. Super simple. This is cool, but we close out every week. So we have weekly one-on-one sessions with our members where goal is that we've closed last week out and we're tidying up 1 to 3 things working on the business, we move forward. We tidy up, move forward, tidy up, move forward, tidy up, move forward. Every single month we close over the top of that where we stop and calibrate. How did or recalibrate and listen, vanilla ice style, where we go, how did the week go? How did the month go out of 0? Also, every 4 weeks we catch up via what we call our 7-step pathway, where we've developed 7 steps for your asset building, or it's almost like a 7 steps in life. If you do these, if you work through these, you'll become an asset. Your business will become an asset. They will collect other assets. And if you set your direction, you'll certainly land where you want to go in 10 to 15 years' time. It's not going to happen overnight, but it certainly will happen. So pack the game up well. You got to pack the week up, pack the month up, pack the quarter up, pack the year out, pack the 5-year out. You got to know where you're going and sort of set the plan and trajectory into place. You need to stop sometimes and be like, I'm going to pack this up well for tomorrow. I'm going to pack that month up. I'm going to work on this and this. So when I open up the next month, it's going to look better. I'm going to pack that week up. So when I open up the next week, it's going to be better. And business is just a game of making right decision after good decision after profitable decision after another decision after another one consecutively on repeat. If you do that for 10 or 15 years, if you make hay while the the sun shines, if you look after yourself and look after your business and look after the people in your business, whether that's a client or a staff member or a future staff member or a future client, if you look after the finance of the business, if you look after your people that other people that matter, your subcontractors and your wholesalers, you'll be in an excellent position in 15 years' time. You'll be in an excellent position in a year's time, really. But some things certainly take time. I'm going to land the plane on this one. I love this one because things turn around quickly. If you're playing Monopoly and you land on hotel, then another hotel, then another hotel, or you go back 3 spaces, my Monopoly people, yeah, I get you. So it's like you can lose a lot. You can be going good to not going so good really quickly. Or you can be going around the board, land on a couple of things, get lucky, but you can only be lucky when you're playing the game, right? So too many times with us, we look around at other contractors or other business, oh, they got lucky. They only got lucky because they were playing the game. And everyone will get 5 to 10 amazing lucky breaks within their career. And if yours hasn't come, it will come. It definitely will come. But things turn around quickly for good or bad. You've got to know this in the business. You've got to, I said this before, but make hay while the sun shines. I love this proverb. I'm going to read this. Make hay when the sun shines, that's smart. Go fishing during harvest, that's stupid. Make hay when the sun shines, that's smart. Go fishing during harvest, that's stupid. Your business can be, okay, you've got a window of time to make money, probably when you're 20 to 50. So let's say you got 25 to 45 years, depending on what you want to do to make money. And probably the most profitable, you're going to be between the 30 and 50 realm. You have a window of time. I'm not saying you can't make money outside of that. You hear what I'm saying here. You got a window of time. You got to make hay while the sun shines. There's no point dedicating a decade or 2 decades of your life to a business that you're not happy with, that's not profitable, or that's profitable but you're not happy. You need to find the balance between revenue, which is clients and staff, net profit, which is money you keep, and purpose. You need to find the balance between those 3, right? But things can turn around really quickly. You can get from 0 to hero really quickly or from hero to 0. You need to be on top of this. This is why we close out every single week, close out every single month, close out every single quarter, and we revisit our 7-step pathway every 4 weeks. This is absolutely huge. You have a window of time to make money. So for good or bad, things can turn. I think if you've got this if you've got this concept, you'll be like, you know what, I'm on a heater, I'm going to stay on a heater. How do I put my business onto a heater? How do I be prepared or be aware that this might not last forever? You've got amazing clients now. What if their brother-in-law starts an electrical business and takes that? You've got to be aware, you've got to be prepared, and you've got to make hay while the sun shines. Things can turn around quickly, right? So what does that mean for you? If your business isn't going so well, you can turn it around, and it can turn around really quickly. Once you, like let's say you came and saw us, we'd get your break-even rates down, we'd work out how you're using your break-even rates, we'd close a few months out, we'd set your 7 steps, and it's pretty typical from anyone that comes in. Things can turn around for the good really quickly. Things can turn around for negative really quickly. You employ a couple of average staff members, the bitter yeast saturates the dough in a negative sense. You've got too much yeast, not enough dough, the bit of bread goes off, you lose a couple of clients, someone drills a hole through a truss, someone does this, someone doesn't show up on time, someone's always sick, someone's not happy because they're working with Ted and Ted sucks. You can make some really, really poor decisions that lead to some really poor results really quickly. So be aware, be prepared that things turn around quickly. You want to be turning around for good, and once you're on the good track, you want to stay on the good track. So thanks for hanging out. See you guys next time. That's a wrap on another episode of the Sparky Coach podcast. If you can like, subscribe, leave a comment, that'd be fantastic. But we really hope this podcast helps propel you and progress you in your trade God ordained making money, building wealth, and being kind. See you next time.